Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido de nuevo al Café con Caden. Hi, how are you? Welcome back to Coffee with Caden. My Spanish is atrocious, isn't it? Well, guess what? It's got to get me somewhere, and I have to start somewhere. And I'm starting here. No, I'm just kidding. Trying to learn a little bit here and there. Work helps me a little bit because I have to talk to some people that are Spanish speaking, and I've gotten some things down that I say on the daily. But for the most part, I got a lot of work to do. But I have till November before I leave, so we got this. We're going. We're zooming and booming. Anyways, you're back here with me, Caden, and we're drinking coffee. Today, boom, Starbucks like usual, just because I think everybody has a Starbucks around, right? All right, okay, that's good. Ooh, you know how I feel about Starbucks, though. Kind of like obviously I'm still supporting it. Not a huge Starbucks hater, but I just like smaller places a little bit more, and places with oat milk. But Starbucks has oat milk. Okay, what is this? Venti iced. Okay, it's not very good for you. Yeah, I'm on a diet, but also I wanted you guys to try something new. Okay, well that's the whole point. I want you to go try these things and then comment and tell me how they are. You know, have fun with it. Anyways, venti iced brown sugar, oat milk espresso. It's their new. You should be able to find it super easy. It should be on all the new menus unless you live in Great Bend, Kansas. Yeah, I don't think there's anything there. Nothing in that little town. If you live in Great Bend and you watch this, I'm sorry, but I just first name popped to my mind. It was kind of funny. Hoo. Man, life is weird. Hey, if you follow me on TikTok, stop unfollowing me. Thanks. I've been losing a lot of followers lately. I think they're kind of doing what Instagram does and kind of purging out their ghost followers, which is good. I mean, I like the idea of it because I don't want a bunch of followers that aren't there. I didn't choose who followed me. It just happens, you know? I mean, just, vibing, right? Vibing. No, it's been last week was pretty rough. That's why there was no podcast. I apologize. I had 3 tests last week, and they all whooped my butt. Every single one of them. One of them I did okay in, thanks to a friend. I didn't cheat, but she just helped me study. So thank you. Anyways, school whooped my buttocks last week. I absolutely bombed one test, and now I'm just sitting here. I'm like, if I don't write a good paper at the end of this course, I'm screwed. That's it. I'm screwed. I'm just gonna have to retake a class this summer and be pissed off because I'm supposed to graduate. And I'm done with school. Okay, Ooh, but I've been working out. That's cool, I don't know if you follow me on other social media platforms, which you probably do because it's the only way you found my YouTube. Yeah, been working out, trying to get buff like usual, but buffer. Anyways, this coffee's pretty good. It's a little bland, not gonna lie. But for an oat milk espresso, it probably tastes better hot. If you can get it hot, it probably tastes better hot. I think a lot of iced drinks kind of taste the same. I love iced coffee, but I feel like they taste fairly similar. Look at this though. I don't know if you can see that. I shattered my new phone. Hate my life. I don't know how I did it. I picked my phone up like this off the table and looked at it and I was like, oh crap. Yeah, back of my phone shattered. Anyways, today got some interesting stuff for you. Tan lines from my mask. That's what I have for you. Now I'm gonna talk to you about sex. What? Some crazy sex stories, I guess. How my sex has evolved over the years. Yeah, it's definitely gone from one direction to another. Yeah, I think so. Anyways, before that, I just wanted to let you guys know that I did kiss my little doggies before I started this, because they're the sweetest, and they're just taking little naps like they always do, just naps all day. It's kind of late at night. Monday, 10:39, but you won't see this until tomorrow. So yeah, sex has evolved over the years. So let's start off from the beginning. Who did I lose my virginity to? That one didn't count. It was like a poke and leave. Somebody walked in the room, and we had to stop it. So it is what it is. Whatever, it is what it is. Regardless, I had sex for the very first time. Hey, do not condone this. You do it when you're ready and you're available. Just kidding. Do what the hell you want. I don't give a fuck. First time I had sex, I was 15. High school. I was a sophomore, but I was always that kid in school that was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait till marriage. Like, I don't see a point in having sex. I'm not like everybody else. Like, I don't want to be that little thought. Look at me now. Biggest thought in the game. Nah, I'm just kidding. I just think sex is just whatever, it's a pleasing aspect of things. And I mean, some people look at it as like a very, very intimate thing, and it is to an extent, but I think it's also very pleasurable. So take it how you want to, to me, it's just sex. Sex. It's cool, but as long as you're like doing it correctly and being clean and whatnot, I think everything's okay. Have sex as much as you want. I'm more of a like I'm not a relationship guy at all. Never have been. Probably never will be. I don't know. It's nothing against people that are in relationships. I just don't have the desire to like start and build something. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just people stress me out, and I feel like nobody's ever really committed. So I just do the casual sex thing, Hey, it is what it is. But I'm more of like a try and stick to one person if I'm fucking, just fuck one person at a time, and then if it doesn't work out, and then you move on to the next person and fuck them and whatnot, and just make sure you get checked and be clean, right? Oh, I got a message. Whoops, sorry. I forgot to put that away, even though I just had it in my hand showing it to you. I got like something in my eye. It's kind of late, so we'll see what's going on. What if my contact just went and stuck to the camera? That'd be kind of cool. No. Okay, so virgin. And then I had sex maybe a few times before I graduated high school. And then college, or did the little venture off to Texas thing for a little bit, and then went to college. College is wild, let me tell you. If you want to have sex in college, you can. It's very easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying I'm easy. Very hard. Not hard like down there. I'm just like, no, not everyone can get a piece of this, if you know what I mean. Nah, I'm just playing. Yeah, so when college went around, it was just like experiencing things a little bit more, because beginning of my life, I apologize if my family's watching this. I'm just going to go ahead and like text them beforehand to not watch this one. Yeah, so whoops. Yeah, sex. So very beginning, it was very vanilla. Just a little missionary and some doogie, and hey, do your thing and get out. And it's definitely evolved from that. I'll go ahead and say that right now. I think a lot of my friends know about my sex life, and a lot of them are very like, what? And I'm like, hey man, to each their own. People like whatever they like, and I don't kink shame. And that's the biggest thing, is I do not kink shame. I'm very open for the most part. Honestly, I'll dive right into it. I don't like things in my butt. But other than that, I'm pretty freaking open, you know? I've been with 2 girls at one time. That was kind of cool, but very boring, honestly, because I don't think that they were really into each other. So, yeah, it was just like me doing a lot of work for a fairly long period of time. And that was some cardio. Like, that was wild. You know, I'd just be like doing one while the other one was like doing my face. And so there was like no breath. Yeah, crazy stuff. Anyways, yeah, wild west. That's where I live. Wild west. College, yeah. College for me, I mean, I'm not saying I'm ugly, you know, but I'm probably not the prettiest thing in the world. So I would say sex came fairly easy for me. If I wanted to have sex with somebody, I could probably make a phone call right now and have sex with someone. But I'm tired, so I'm not doing that. And also, I don't care. And yeah, I for me, it came very easily. Like, obviously, I have plenty of friends that are like, how do you just like have sex? And I was just like, I don't know. Like, people just want to have sex with me, and I have come to realize that I think it has to do with the way I talk on social media. I'm very bold for the most part. Like, I say whatever the hell comes to my mind, and I think a lot of women take that as like, oh, like maybe he does know what he's doing in bed. I don't. Not a clue. Just winging it every single time. Not a clue. But sex for me has evolved quite a bit. Like I said, it went from very vanilla, but I've always been somebody who is into foreplay a lot. Like, a lot of foreplay. Like, I feel like that is like the focal point of sex to me. Like, people can be like, oh yeah, dude, I just pounded this girl out. I'm so fucking cool. No, dude, did you go down on her? Did you please her? Like, bro, if you ain't doing that, you're doing something wrong. And for my gays out there, whether you guy on guy or girl on girl, do some foreplay. Ain't no need to be ramming and jamming. Foreplay is key. That's how you get everything going. You know? You ain't gonna just, you know, hop right into it. I mean, unless you doing some wild stuff like I have, like in a car. You ain't gonna do much foreplay in a car. I've done it. I've gone down on a girl in a car. I make it work. I like doing that, okay? That's what I enjoy. I just enjoy eating women out. That's what I like, you know? No, for real though. Like, you ain't doing foreplay, you doing something wrong. I'm gonna die by that quote right there. If you're not doing foreplay, you're doing something wrong. I'm not one to receive foreplay. I don't really care about that. I'm not a big like guy. I don't really care for it. It is what it is. It's me just being me. I think it's a little too much work for a woman, to be honest. I feel like that's a little stressful. Some women really enjoy doing it, and I'm like, cool, whatever. Let's just move on past that. Just let's move to the next step. I usually don't give them the option to move or to, like, you know, because I like to be in control. I like to do my thing. I like to go down on my women how I want to. But to each their own. Like I said, everybody's sex life a little different. No, so like back to the kink thing. I feel like it's definitely progressed over the years. I've like had a couple girls try and stick a finger in my butt, and I'm like, let's bypass that. Bypassed it, whatever. Is what it is. And then it always goes to like, hey, spank me. And I'm like, okay, like, I could do that. And I'm like, and they're like, what the fuck was that? And they're just looking at me like, bro, there's just no way this dude just gave me a pat on the ass. Like, good game, brother. No. Like, they're sitting there yelling at me like, hey, dude, like, I saw you playing football the other day and you smacked your boy's ass harder than you smacked my ass. I'm like, shit, like, we just hyped up. We got some testosterone going. And I ain't trying to hurt you. But there's like a level of kinkiness with women that they tend to just be like, hey, just like go to town. I'm like, all right. So smacking ass and getting a little bit better at it, a little lick and then right? Karate chop the booty cheek, like, don't be, some women like to be hurt. Make sure, hey, everything's consensual. If you got to talk to the woman about it beforehand, please do that. Please do that, because, hey, you never know if she's into that kind of stuff. Some women just like to just enjoy some normal, casual sex. All power to them. But I ain't going to be fucking you, because that's not for me. Hey, it is what it is. And then it leads from the ass slapping to the, hey, choke me a little. I'm like, choke you? Girl, you're supposed to breathe. This is like a workout. You don't breathe when you work out? And I'm like sitting here a little confused. I'm like, there's no way these women just like this stuff. And next thing you know, I'm choking this girl, right? Or whoever it was. I don't know who the first girl I ever choked was. And then, so like, there's a concept behind it. You don't push on the esophagus. You don't want to close the windpipe, right? Because you got to breathe through there. What you do is you got to pinch on the sides to stop the blood flow to the brain, because it like is some kind of something in their brain that turns them on a little bit more and makes sex a little more exciting. It's kind of like an adrenaline factor, right? But they can still breathe as long as you're not like crushing their windpipe. I got little hands, so I can't crush much. Coffee break. Hold on. Getting a little hot talking about this. Hot. Oh, yeah. Good coffee. I'm probably going to drink a little bit of that and then throw it in the fridge and then drink a little bit tomorrow. Anyways. Yeah, so, and then next thing you know, girls choking me, and I'm like, oh, say less. Like, this is kind of cool. Like, I'm a dominant guy for sure, but like, hey, spice it up a little bit. Get a little razzle dazzle. You can't eat your food without a little salt and pepper, baby. Spice that shit up. You know what I'm saying? And you get a woman that might be a little good at it. Like, I had this, I remember specifically this one girl, and she like a gymnast or whatever, and like buff, and like not like me buff. Like, ain't nobody buffer than me, like you can't do it like me. But she was buff. I'll give her that. And she went from like a one hand to a two hand, and like, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna die. Okay, I'm gonna die this way. It's make it happen, Lord, please. I love you. Make sure that my sister gets whatever money I have left, right? Type of shit. And I'm like, just sitting there, just dying. I'm like, fuck it. This is how I'm going out. It's over with. And then she kind of lets up, and I'm like, fuck, dude, that shit was wild. Do that again. But give me like 2 minutes because I can't breathe. And she was like to town, like around my whole neck. And I don't have a small neck. Like, my neck's fairly large for how short I am. I'm not short, just like average, right? But I got a fairly large neck because these traps and stuff. Like I said, nobody's buffer than me. It's my title, buff man. Not for real though. Choking the shit out of me. And then one thing leads to another, right? And let's talk about somebody else, right? There was one girl specifically, and this is kind of like where things started to like turn. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I didn't know I was into this shit. And it was like, so if you follow me on Twitter, you probably know I got a spit kink. I don't know what it is, but I think that shit kind of like, hey, this shit kind of dirty, but this is hot, like real hot. And it's weird because like I've worked at an orthodontist office. Like I've been about teeth my whole life. That's my big thing. And like, I don't really trust everybody because I know people don't brush their teeth like me, but it is what it is. And this girl was like, spit in my mouth. I'm like, spit in your who? Wait, what you mean your mouth? And I was like, okay. And she's like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, what do you mean? I just spitted. But in reality, she meant like, hey, bro, drip that shit from your tongue to the back of my throat. And I was like, okay, let me try. And I'm like, building up spit, right? And I'm like, okay, this is going to come out anytime. And that's the worst part about it. If you got a spit kink, bro, just make sure that you are ready to spit before you start the action, because they'll sit there and be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I'm spitting. Now you just fucked it up because I had to swallow my spit to talk to you. So let me just stare at you again while I'm all right. So I've done that. That's where my spit kink kind of like grew up. And then it went to wine, like spitting wine in each other's mouth. I'm like, what? This is fucking crazy. This is kind of cool. But like, I don't like to sleep with women when they've been drinking, whether it's my girlfriend or not. So like that one's like, I have to like really, really, really trust you to do that one, because it's like, I can't just be spitting wine in anybody's mouth, because I don't like the idea of sleeping with somebody while they're like drinking. It's just not for me. I don't like to do it. My past relationships, I would not sleep with them while they were drunk. Like, even if I was with them forever, like I ain't doing that. It's just not for me. And then it became more of like a, you can disrespect me type spit. And I was just like, okay. And like, girl wouldn't even open her mouth, and I just spit in her face. I'm like, that's cool. And then she'd be like licking it off her lips or like pulling it off her face. And then I'm like, what the fuck? This girl crazy. And that ain't the, like, oh, like, whoa. And then I've been involved in, I ain't do no wax play, but I've been asked to do some wax play, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. You can drip wax on me, I'll drip wax on you. I feel like that wouldn't hurt that bad. You used to play with the wax with your fingers as a kid, and just like dip your finger in it, let it get hard or whatever. And yeah, like I was like, this, I could do that for sure. Like, it's gonna hurt a little bit, but I'm gonna be all right. And then I've had some women like that I had never even slept with. They were like, hey, put a knife to my throat. And I'm like, put a who to your throat? You know that's like attempted murder, right? I ain't trying to do all that. So that stresses me out. And then it got even farther. This girl was like, put a gun to my head. I'm like, no, ma'am, we ain't doing that. I don't play no gun bullshit, because like, no. That's a no. Knife, maybe. But gun, no. Hell no. The only reason why I probably wouldn't do any knife plays, because my dumb ass is too clumsy. I'd probably slip and just, fucking woo. That would be a party, right? But I would just make her sign a consent form saying, like, if she dies, it's her fault. Yeah, so. Anyways. So, and then it's like, I've done like the whole rope thing. Done like the handcuff thing. And I think that's more of just being in control. I like to be in control of the situation. And I don't necessarily I like everything I do is very, very, very consensual. Like, I want the woman, whoever I'm with, to be very comfortable in every situation that she's like in, right? So like, I make sure that like, hey, is this cool? But I'm not trying to be like stopping in the middle of things. Like, hey, like, are you okay? Do you want me to like brush your hair? No, I don't do that. But what I will do is kind of talk about things beforehand. And then you can kind of tell how your partner reacts to things, because if they're into it, you'll know. That's from my understanding, they'll know. So like I've done like the whole handcuff thing, the rope thing, right? And it's cool. I'll say it's pretty cool, because like and girls like it. You just do what you want. You just do your thing, and they let you. I'm like, cool. I'm about that any day. Call my line. You about that? I'm about that. Anyways, and then things have gotten a little bit more aggressive. Like, I'm just gonna dive into it. I've had women like tell me to slap them in the face, and I'm like, man, people gotta see that thing. I don't want people to see me with a black eye. I don't think people want to see you with a black eye. They're like, no, like, open hand, just slap me across the cheek, whatever. And so, like, the very first time I ever did that, I was like, and she was like, same thing. She was like, what the fuck is this kid doing, bro? Like, why are you caressing my face? I'm like, oh, yeah, right? No. And then she's like, hit me. And I'm like, bitch, I can't just hit you. I'm a male, bro. And I did. I hit her. I smacked her in the face. Consensual. It's not punch. It was smack across the face, right? And then the very first time, this girl's like, hit me harder. I'm like, girl, shoot. I'm like, getting my shoulder ready like I'm about to throw a fucking football, right? Or a baseball. I'm like warming up. I'm like, oh, say less. You can't tell me I'm a pussy because I can't hit, right? Boom! Knocked her out. Nah, I'm just playing. That didn't happen. But I did smack her pretty hard. And I'm kind of into that. Yeah, it is what it is. But not all women are. So be careful when you trying to do stuff like that. And I've also had women hit me. I kind of like it. I'm like, boom, whatever. Well, you want to throw hands, not even fuck. Like, it is what it is. Let's go. Baby, I'm ready to go. All the time. Any day. Bro, like, put these shits up. Let's go. You want to put on some gloves before this happens? Say less. Make it happen. Because I'll throw down. I'll throw down. For sure. I'll throw down. Yeah. Not for real, though. If you want to smack me, go ahead. You want to get smacked? All right, bet. I'll make it happen. I can make that happen. Not for real, though. And then, like, so, like, I think one thing that I definitely have gotten out of my comfort zone with, and I think this is more of like an ego thing and just me being a puss as a guy, right? Toys. Male, female, whatever you're into, right? Please use toys. It makes sex so much better. Not only for you, but for the person you're with. Because say you're a man with a woman, or a woman with a man, and they bring a vibrator in this situation. Women can get off with a vibrator by themselves. Imagine what a woman can do if you using a vibrator with yourself involved in the situation. Bro, that shit life-changing. Maybe not for you, because you a dude, but you can get off in a minute if you wanted to. Most men can. I promise you. But we be beating off, and that shit takes like 2 minutes. You're all right. Bro, just use some toys. Make that woman enjoy this shit. And if you're a woman, tell your man, hey, let's spice it up a little bit. Throw some toys in there, right? And so I've gone a little extreme with the toys too. So like there was this mom one time. She was like in her 30s. Cool as hell. Loved her kids. They were nice. We went to the zoo every once in a while. It was a fun time, right? But she like took care of me. Like she would like take me to dinner. She'd pay for shit, pick me up, drive me around. I wasn't in a state where I had a car. I was in Texas. So she would like pick me up, take me to her place, take me back wherever I needed to go because I didn't have a car at the time. Like I had a car, just was in Nevada. But she was big on toys. Like big on toys. And it was like vibrators, dildos, like whatever. I'm like, she pulled the dildo out. I'm like, But like, I knew this woman was a freak from the start because like the very first night I went to her house, she was like, she made a joke, but it wasn't a joke. She was like, oh, I'll just tie you to the bed. And I'm like, go ahead. And they were already attached to the bed, bro. Like, dead ass attached to the bed already. She pulls these like handcuff things that are attached to the bed, feet and hands, and like already attached to the bed, throws them on the bed, like comes out from like the like by the headboard and like comes over the top, and she's like, lay down. I'm like, excuse me? I'm an innocent little boy. Like, you gonna just take advantage of me like that? I'm like, all right, say less, mama, let's go. And mama went for sure. Like, she was wilding out. Anyways, so she was big on like using a dildo while we fucked. Well, the thing is, women have multiple holes. And I only have one penis. So you can only picture what happened. But guess what? Crazy sex, bro. I'm telling you, the more open you'll be with your woman, the more women, the more open you'll be with your man, the more enjoyable sex might be for you. I'm not saying you're having vanilla sex all the time, because you probably having a little fun, but some conversations I have with friends, it sound like you guys just be having vanilla sex, okay? Have some fun, spice it up a little bit, you know what I mean? Venture off. Grow up a little bit. We're adults here. It is what it is, right? So that's my little tips, right? Be open and enjoy it. Anyways, if you like this, we can talk about sex again. I got stories I can talk about. Okay? So, anyways, thank you for coming. Adios. Love you. Bye.